Welcome to the Perfectly Sane Show, episode 682. I am Chris, as always, joined by Tony.
I'd just like to point out that if I've built my entire career on disrespect, I'm probably not applying that disrespect toward laws about explicit contact with minors. Probably a bad choice.
I was wondering where you're going for a minute because there's a lot going on. I put it together, though.
Yeah, I mean, I got the one who said minor, but I'm sorry, not minor. I think he corrected his statement. So any incident, and then you can re-edit it to say minor later on.
He had minor, he removed minor, and then he put minor back.
I did catch that that happened. Earl is here as well.
I mean, I don't like to be an ageist, but maybe there should be an age limit on who can run for president. I don't know why. It just came to me today. I just was like thinking like this should be something we think about. Nothing to do with anything. Just casual thought.
Yeah, maybe Dr. Disrespect should stay away from kids, and also Joe Biden and Donald Trump should not be running for president. We'd be in a much better place if all of these things happened. Yes, I mean, you guys don't really follow Twitch or streaming, do you? Like,
my kids are way into streaming much more than I would ever be, but not like shooters. So somebody like Dr. Disrespect doesn't really come across their radar screen.
Okay. Yeah, it's like that. Go ahead, Earl.
I was gonna say the only reason I know who he is he won that I forgot what it was called at the time, trending gamer or whatever that used to be in the Game Awards.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because there was a period of time. I forgot if he got rid of it or he renamed it, where like everybody who won it ended up being like a shitheel, except for I think Greg Miller. I think it was like Dr. Disrespect. That was like maybe Pro Jared or somebody, and like every time they'd win it, it was like the Madden curse of yes, famous people.
Was Pro Jared a jerk?
I forget who. Again, like I don't know most of these things. Almost anything I learn about these people is against my will, and it's usually when they do something stupid. So it might not have been him. It might have been John Tron. I think that's one.
Oh, that's one I've heard. Yes, I hadn't heard anything bad about Pro Jared before. Not that matters. Like, I've just like he occasionally reviews like old games, and he comes across my YouTube feed on occasion. But John Tron is one that I have heard bad things about. So, is that the one that he renamed and what Sonic Fox won, or was that like the esports gamer of the year?
Yeah, I don't remember. I want to say it was trending, but it was like some YouTuber or something. Because I don't think they weren't esports people.
No, like that because Greg Miller won it the 1 year. Dr. Disrespect. I think Sonic Fox is a pro. He's a pro esports.
Yes,
player,
he's the Smash for this person, right?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he won for best like esports player or something. Yeah, he did. Yes, I just found it. Yeah, so not that same award. He won esports player of the year in 2018. Different award then.
Yes.
Yeah, so Dr. Disrespect, I only know him, I mean, I guess outside of that, which I had forgotten he won, Earl. Wasn't he the dude that was also like filming in a bathroom at one
point? In a bathroom, yeah.
That's also him.
Yeah. He seems like a great guy.
Yeah.
And controversy follows him.
Oh, I mean, literally, sometimes because again, you should never trust a dude with, I don't even want to say like a wig, and I don't know, like
he's wearing a wig. I don't think the mustache is real either. The glasses are so huge you can't really see his face. I wonder what he actually looks like. I don't think I've seen like a real picture of him.
But it is just, I don't want to say it's so weird how people develop these closer personality, because this has been a story that's been brewing for several weeks, I want to say. And it was like everybody on his side kept on, oh, like where's the like somebody I think somebody formerly from Twitch came out, like where's the proof? Why didn't Twitch say anything? Then he came out with he's had some really stupid statements, but I think the first one was just like, um, like this was already settled, like Twitch found nothing wrong, which is never a good start when you can't outright deny it.
Right.
Uh, so I was like, see, like, then we're gonna need proof. And I forget what, but he was just like, yeah, did I message a minor? Yes, nothing inappropriate happened.
Okay. Maybe he didn't say anything, but the fact that he did it to begin with
Well, that
is
came.
inappropriate. Like when the act itself is inappropriate to begin with.
Yeah, he said it also like verged on nearing inappropriate. So like,
Yeah.
man, you were already over a line.
Right.
Yes, and then it came out today that yes, he knew she was a minor. Yes, he continued on afterwards, and yes, it was more sexual in nature. And it's like, yeah, there's like no good saving grace here, huh?
He's done, and like I like how his statement of his series of statements is like, yeah, I'll be back. You're not gonna be back. This
Yes.
is it.
I'm sure
Sorry.
he'll come back.
Bye.
I'm sure he'll come back. Everybody does, but everybody tries like, oh, like give it because what is he? He's on vacation with his family.
Yeah.
um, everybody tries that where it's like, oh, well, I'll go away for a bit and I'll make a grand comeback, and I'm sure his first thing will do well, or like, people say, oh, see, and then it's gonna be a curiosity, and then like that bump dies down. It's the same thing when like people boycott something, like that boy, oh, look at this, and then 2 weeks, like, it's like that infamous Call of Duty poster where like, oh, we're boycotting Call of Duty, and you just see a bunch of people who on the boycott is playing the game.
Yeah.
It's not any different than that.
I'm not sure if that mustache is real, Tony.
I don't think it is.
Put a picture with him without the wig. Like looks like he's just standing in front of a closet or something.
Yeah.
But the mustache is still there, but it looks fake. Weird dude.
Also, would point out that because it's one of those, oh, like he's over 40, I want to say, so it's not like something he did when he was
right.
I mean, he's a former game developer, right? He worked for Sledgehammer or like one of the Call of Duty studios.
Yes, and I mean, we will be here all day if we would have saw the things he no longer works for now. So
yeah, no, and everybody dumped him. Like it's like I don't know that he has any actual working relationships at this point.
Yeah, he lost his endorsements with Turtle Beach, 2K, and a bunch of others.
The game development company he was working for dumped him.
Yeah, I mean, he was co-founder of that.
Yeah,
like this guy's got to go. They actually I thought they had a good statement. That hey, we looked into this independently, but we've came to like the conclusion that we have to cut ties with him. Like, they gave him the benefit of the doubt. They did the investigation. Or like, no, you got to go.
No,
like
bad.
Yeah.
Not only did they do the investigation, they did it so quick.
Yeah.
It's like, we're gonna. Oh, he's gone. It's like same day.
It's like we've seen enough. Like they just open and they see like page 1 of 20, and all they needed to do is see that like first paragraph of that first page. Like, we don't need to read the rest of this. We're good. We're okay. We're done.
Yeah, that was kind of funny because like if you screw up for you co-founded it. That they're getting rid of you the day they start investigating. That is as open as literally. It was like first page, he's guilty. Okay, we're good. Moving on.
Yeah, so that's I mean, as we said, we don't really follow streaming culture or that, but that hit.
We're all too old.
Yes. But that kind of hit some more mainstream news outlets. So kind of made sense to talk about it here. There was some other stuff that was kind of announced. Let me bring up that chat from this morning. So there was actually some good stuff that kind of came out of the morning group chat. Xbox is bringing Game Pass to Fire TV sticks. So that was an interesting development.
Yeah, I mean, it's what they needed to do in terms of. I mean, it's kind of what we were saying before this whole year turned into whatever it was for Microsoft, where they, like they are more interested in getting Game Pass in front of as many people as possible, not necessarily selling you an Xbox.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes. Um, that's- can you connect your controller to the Fire Stick?
So
Must
it's
be able
blue.
to connect something.
Yeah, and the new controllers are Bluetooth. So
Um,
also I do wonder because Amazon, I don't know if they still do, but they had that Luna, which was their own streaming service.
yeah.
I wonder if because there was a controller that you could buy a Luna controller and it was basically an Xbox controller. I wonder if that would work as an Xbox controller. Let's see here. It doesn't say anything about the controllers, I don't think. But I assume being Bluetooth that you would be able to connect it. Oh, yep. Here we go. Connect a Bluetooth enabled wireless controller. Controllers like the Xbox wireless controller, Xbox adaptive controller, PlayStation DualSense, or DualShock 4 controller are all compatible. So probably the Luna controller as well. Anything that connects by Bluetooth. So that's neat. And a good entry point, right? Because like a Fire Stick is what, like $60 or something like that. Like, it's not expensive. 50-$60. So that's it's a good entryway for them to get their cloud gaming streaming service going on other devices without having to sell Xboxes. So I think it's a smart move. Assassin's Creed, evidently they are going to start remaking some of those games.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. I mean, I thought they've done remakes of some of them or remastered.
They've done remasters.
Yeah, okay.
But not
Um,
very many.
yeah, they did what, the Ezio trilogy?
Yep, Ezio
That's
trilogy and Assassin's Creed 3 I think also got a remaster.
Yeah, 3, and I guess with 3 you got the Vita game as well.
Yeah.
Liberation, which was like a side story of 3. And they did Rogue remastered
Yeah.
as well. But
Yeah,
that's
but
it.
they're all remasters as opposed to like remake. Like, are they? Is it like a? Did they say remaster or remake?
They said remake. So that's neat.
Yeah, because
I think.
like games like Liberation were really hard to play like on the remaster. You're like, this is not a modern full game to play. Like it's so
Right.
choppy and some of the earlier games, like especially the original, has a great storyline and a really cool world. But like if you go back to it now, it's clearly ancient.
Yeah, it's really hard to play now. Like I love that game at the time, and I
Yeah,
still have a great appreciation for it. But man, like trying to return to that,
yeah.
it does not have
Like
the quality of life.
moving through the world is so hard and so um finicky. It's like they've done so much over time with the motion to make it feel natural
Yeah,
and that original game you spent a lot of time fighting like which direction Ezio was or not Ezio Altair was going.
yeah,
Um and there were weird things about it, like if you fell into the water you died.
which is insane. Why doesn't this assassin know how to swim?
Yeah.
That was a thing back. I mean, and the Assassin's Creed was 360 PS3 era, but that used to be a really goofy thing that open world games on the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox because like they couldn't do the water. So like if you fell in the water in GTA, you were
You would,
dead. Like
or was it GTA or Saints Row that would just like spawn you back into?
Saints Row, I
Uh,
think would spawn you back. GTA, you ended up in the hospital.
okay, because there's some that would spawn you back to like to like the where you fell into the water, but you still
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to go into the water. So
Yeah, Assassin's Creed just like their death in that game was desynchronization, so you would just desynchronize. So goofy. Um, the rumor, I guess, is that maybe there's a 4 remake in development. I kind of think that's.
Ooh.
I would rather they start with 1, like redo 1 first. I don't know if
Yeah.
4 needs a remake.
Well, I don't know because I really liked 4, and I think after the experience that was Skull and Bones, they owe us like
Fair
an
enough.
actual fun game in that particular realm.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like give you a real pirate game
Yeah.
that actually plays well. Uh, I am holding out. I want that first one remade.
I'd love all of them. Like to experience one over, like that game was fantastic.
Yeah.
Even if going back to it is weird, like that was one of the games. Like I remember back in like came out in 2007. I think I played it in 2008 though. But like it was one of the games that got me back into being a hardcore gamer after like a couple years of not playing as much.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so good, and like the hidden blade and like the whole assassin mystique was just so cool. And there were no other games like that. It was so great. Just to experience that again would be fantastic.
And yeah, and getting that, and I mean, Assassin's Creed has followed through on this with the rest of the series, but kind of like being able to explore like this ancient city that's real, like a real place. Like you were able to go and explore actual locations that existed in history was really neat.
Yeah.
I guess on a similar note,
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how much he said, but he's I
Gimo.
guess actually came out and started, like he was talking about like the toxicity around like the new one and the shithills who are complaining about it. I mean, he didn't like. I mean, he didn't go as far as to specifically call out people, which I wish he did. But he, like actually having somebody in the game industry actually acknowledge, like, yes, this isn't right. We should not accept this as normal.
No, we should not. Like, um, yeah, discourse in gaming is, I don't know, discourse in everything is getting worse and worse. But since we
Yep.
follow gaming, it's kind of at the forefront. People being assholes. Is there any other news that you guys caught that was something you were interested
Did we
in?
talk about the Nintendo Direct?
I mean, we didn't record at all last
Oh,
week.
yeah, no, we did not. I kind of just, I mean, it happened. It was really cool. I forgot about it. Yeah, it was a good direct.
Even though they announced right ahead of time, like this is not about the sequel to the Switch. There's be no successor that we're going to be talking about today, which is disappointing. That was what I wanted. Did not get that.
I mean, to be fair to them, they said that way back in what March or whatever, or May, I should say, that it was just going to focus on the current system, uh, which I guess it depends on what you're looking for. It could go either way.
Right. I mean,
Uh,
I think it's nice that they're not abandoning it. Like a lot of, and I blame Sony and Microsoft for this. When their new consoles coming, they sort of like ignore it.
yeah.
It's nice to see that Nintendo's not doing that. There
Honestly,
will be Switch games for a while.
I was actually surprised at how much they actually had for the Switch. Good
It's a
and
lot.
bad. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I mean, just a yeah for them in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess just real quick, I think the big ones, Metroid Prime 4 update, which we hadn't seen, and I mean we hadn't seen.
We haven't seen it all. They gave us a very minimal glimpse of it, and dropped 2025 on that trailer, and we're like, it's coming next year.
Yes, but again, I mean, just I guess at the end of it, I will give them credit over Microsoft in that regard. I thought Microsoft had a better presentation, but this one had dates
Yes, absolutely.
and gameplay. So most of the games that I were interested in at the end of it, I'm like, oh, I could play this within the next 6 months or so. Aside from like maybe Metroid, which again, the rumors are going to be like, is that a Switch title? Is that I mean, I assume it's a Switch title, but is it just a Switch title? Or is
Might
it
be one
going?
of those ones where, like,
Yeah,
if you can play it on Switch, but if you play it on Switch 2 or whatever it is, like you'll get slightly better frame rate, slightly better resolution. It'll play a little bit better on the new system.
yeah. So that is. I would also say, I think the new Zelda game, where you can actually say Zelda game and it actually makes sense, is
Yeah,
it's a very interesting title. I think it's one of those titles that I wish we kind of got more of, in the sense that Kirby is building off of Link's Awakening Remastered. It's based off of that engine and that style. We're
yep.
just taking that and reusing it to do something in a similar world, but giving people something new. Um, I won't get into the logistics of how people are dumb with she doesn't fight with a sword. That's bad. But people are people, and uh,
She can fight with whatever she wants, though. She can literally create just about anything.
but because it's not direct combat, people are feeling a way about it. So yeah, uh, Mario and Luigi. I guess this is the twilight of the Switch's RPG, the Mario RPG. I think this is this is the first console that will have one of every type of Mario RPG on it. With Super Mario RPG remake, the Thousand Year Door remake, and now an original Mario and Luigi game, and of course a new Mario Party game.
Yeah. I'm not sure I like the art style on the Mario and Luigi on Brothership. I'm not sure I like that art style, but we'll see. It looks like it could be fun. Uh oh, and they're bringing back Donkey Kong Country Returns
Woohoo!
again.
Donkey
Yeah,
Kong Country returns.
I
Returns.
mean, I was gonna say, to their credit, they warned us. They did say he would return. They just did not mention how often. Um,
All the time.
I mean, I guess to his credit, it's I think Donkey Kong Country games have always been like that, because I think the original were ported to the GBA or the Game Boy itself, like the Donkey Kong Land game.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, but yeah, I'm curious to see, because we already have the Tropical
Freeze.
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 Freeze. Sorry, I have a biting moment. Um, too
Oh
soon.
no, no! We're doomed. We're doomed.
But yes, yeah,
I guess the I'm not happy about the price on this, but I am interested in the Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 remakes that they're doing.
but it's
They're
only one at a time, right?
so three is, and so Dragon Quest is weird. Chronologically, 3 is actually the first game, like story wise, and then 1 and then 2. I did not know this when I played these games originally, but I guess they're tying it together. So Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. Jesus Christ, Square. Their fucking names. That is coming this fall. That's a standalone game for $60, and then Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D is coming in 2025, but that'll be like a 2-pack. So they'll both come together. So 2 different products, one of which we'll get this year. But it looks great. Just I'm not happy with that price, but
Yeah. Yeah. What can you do? We're joined by a Jeffrey.
Oh, Jeff is here. Hello, Jeff.
Hey.
Wait, who's Jeff?
Jeff. He is he's the debate watcher. That's who Jeff is.
Yeah.
I would vote for Jeff before I vote for Biden, based on what I've heard.
If Jeff was running, I would vote for him, but he is not.
So. I could never run for. I couldn't run for mayor. There's too many skeletons in that closet. Man, somebody kill me, please.
It was a nightmare, huh?
Not good. Not good.
Great.
Maybe someone killed Biden. Wait, no, don't. That's the president. We shouldn't say that.
Yeah,
you guys missed like 10 minutes ago. They were arguing about who was the better golfer.
Oh no.
Oh, that's something the country needs.
Yeah.
Like, because I care, right? Like, I don't care. You know what? Both of you go play golf. Go decide it on the golf course. Let other people run the country.
They're probably both awful at golf. I'm pretty sure that is the case.
Well, I think we know Trump isn't particularly good at golf, but he cheats. Like, that's
right.
He said he just won 2 club championships.
At his
He's probably lying.
Exactly. No, he probably did win them, Jeff. It's just he won them at his club, and he changes his score.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking idiot!
Appeal to the judge, and the judge is Trump in a wig or something.
All right. Well, we're talking about the Nintendo Direct last week. Did you have any thoughts on that?
That seems so long ago.
It did. I had almost forgotten that it had happened.
So I didn't watch it live. I was working, and so like the way I was like watching it, quote unquote, was just like kind of refreshing Twitter and like looking at what Wario was like posting.
Yeah.
And like the first, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes, I was just like, man, this is like nothing. Like, like Nintendo is really knocking it into the park, But at the end of the day, at the end of all of it, it was like fucking phenomenal. I think the big thing for me is more so than the Metroid Prime 4 is the Zelda.
Interesting. I thought it was Metroid Prime 4 for you.
It looked like Metroid Prime.
Which is, I mean,
it's good. Yeah, but
you don't mean that as a derogatory. It's just,
but it's like,
it didn't like wow me though.
It's like what you expected, but you expected something different.
No, it just. I'm happy to see it exist, and like we finally got to see it and all that, and it's cool. But the more, for one, Zelda's the more tangible thing because it has a release date and it's close, right? But the other thing is like, as much as I love Breath of the Wild and to a lesser extent, Tears of the Kingdom, I do love traditional Zelda, and I miss those traditional dungeons. And it seems like maybe 2D is the only place we're going to get that going forward, at least for now. And I just didn't expect it. I just didn't expect them to have a new 2D Zelda up their sleeve, and for it to actually like, it looks to bring some of the creativity of the recent 3D Zeldas to it, with you basically being able to like conjure objects, and use that to solve puzzles, probably in different ways. There's probably not one solution to puzzles, I would imagine, with the way this is, but it looks neat.
Yeah,
it really does. I do like the creativity. I do like, Nintendo. I will say, I mean, it's a very fascinating company at times, though, because I understand why, but I don't know if I would have made the emphasis so much on the because I feel like that's not like super exciting, but they really, really wanted you to see that like she can make stuff with a bed. But
Well,
yes,
she
I
was
was
like turning it into like a staircase and stuff.
no, and again,
It's
like I said,
neat.
I get it. It's just really weird that that was the emphasis.
I do wonder. I don't remember. Like, can you just cast regular spells? Like, is there like a basic attack, or is it all just like it's all just summoning objects?
Was summoning objects and kind of like Pokemon type, like you can summon enemies to fight for you.
It's cool. It's like I was talking to Sean about this. It's like you're getting to play a Zelda game like as a mage instead of like a warrior or whatever you would call Link. But yeah, I would like just kind of a basic attack. It's just not like I have to summon people to help me or throw a fucking table on someone's head or whatever. But we don't know. Like I don't know. Like I think it's neat. I'm super excited for this Zelda, man. Oh my god.
And it's like October, I think.
September, I think.
September.
September.
Yeah.
Okay, so even sooner. Fun
Yeah.
stuff.
You know, it would have been easy for them to just hold that off, you know, for the Switch 2 that I'm sure is coming in, you know, by probably March next year, right? Everyone thinks.
Yeah, that's speculation.
I just didn't expect it. I was just like, maybe there'll be something in the back half I don't give a fuck about. And they gave me, honestly, again, like, yeah, Metroid, cool, but like, dude, I'm so stoked for that Zelda.
Two other games that kind of caught my eye out of the direct were the Capcom Marvel collection, which is like a bunch of Marvel
Yeah.
Capcom fighting games, and then weirdly the Punisher just thrown in.
Yeah, the Punisher was an odd addition. Not, I mean, not an odd addition, but it's like it's all fighting games, and then here's like one random beat 'em up.
Yeah, so goofy. I want to play the Punisher like that. I've put quarters into it previously, but I've never finished it. It's a weird choice with a bunch of it's like six other fighting games than the Punisher. But I think it's neat. Weird that it's skipping Xbox. Evidently, there's a issue with the engine that Capcom uses to emulate that it doesn't run well on the Xbox, which I find strange because it runs
funky.
fine on the PlayStation. But anyway, they won't be getting it everywhere else will be. But looking forward to that if it's priced well.
It's also funny because like it was trending, and then a bunch of articles on like not Xbox because there was a few other announcements that were like made that were like not on the X. And I get it. It's just really funny. Like, why isn't this on the Xbox and all that fun jazz?
Yeah, so I guess there's like the Lego Horizon game is coming.
Right.
And that'll hit Switch as well as PlayStation and Steam, but not Xbox. That kind of makes sense,
Obviously,
though.
yeah.
Like, that does make some more sense. And the one other one that caught my eye, mostly because I played half of it previously, is Fantasian, which is coming in a whole release. It's coming to everything as well, including Xbox. But that is from Mistwalker and the Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy creator, Sakaguchi. So I'm interested in that one coming. It's like an old school turn-based RPG with some really cool environment design. They did it all in like actual dioramas and then filmed it. Like so, it's really cool looking.
I saw that. That was very interesting to see.
And it's neat that like it's been locked on Apple Arcade for like 4 years. So
yeah,
neat.
there's I mean, because I mean, not as important, but I guess that was also the case with the Hello Kitty party game that they had.
Oh, yeah, I saw that here, but I didn't realize that was an Apple
Yeah, I didn't
one
either.
too.
I knew the Ninja Turtle game that they were getting next month is as well. Splintered Faith or whatever it's called. That was
That's
also an
the
Apple
roguelike,
exclusive.
right? It's like the Hades
Yeah.
type game. Yeah.
So I
Um.
mean, I guess
Cool.
everybody. I assume Apple paid a decent penny, but it does seem like people are not. It's not as green of a pasture.
Yeah, it seems like hey, you're gonna take the upfront Apple money to be exclusive for a while, but at some point, like you want to make some extra money on it, you're gonna have to release it on traditional platforms. So,
Uh,
anything else catch your guys' eye at the?
I'm sure you guys discussed, but the Mario and Luigi, I'm in.
You're in?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did see the only thing about that, like it looks fun. I'm just not sure about that art style.
I think the art style.
I liked it more when I saw it in motion.
Yeah, it really does look like the 2D games come to life versus like that really awkward style that they did when they remade the games on like the 3DS, where it was like
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like this was actually an evolution of the style that they've been trying.
I
Um,
do I do love too that like they're experimenting with their art styles. You know what I mean? Like like we got a new like Super Mario Wonder looked different from the other 2D games. This looks
yeah,
different. Like I might
and then
not love everyone, but it's just at least it doesn't feel stagnant. Like
Yeah, I get that.
you also
Um,
get that element of a because like a lot of I've seen a few reactions. A lot of people were kind of able to tell that this is Mario and Luigi the same way you were able to tell like Mario Party differently. Because Mario Party has a much more I guess clean would be the word art style to it.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah, this looks more like I'm looking at a still image right now. It almost looks like a Saturday morning cartoon type thing. It's like very cell shaded look to the character models. So um, I don't know. I'll probably play it. That's a
I
November
mean,
game.
yeah, I mean it filled out my ears pretty full with between Zelda and Mario and Luigi and Mario Party. Like 3 games in the span of 3 months. Uh, is solid. And then there's some small ones here and there that I might be interested in. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I've heard people saying I think I might join along and pick up um the Capcom collection because who knows the next time we'll see because like I didn't realize like those games hadn't been available since the 360 generation. Like Marvel vs.
yeah.
Capcom 2
I think they've been delisted for a while. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You're gonna want to pick that up just to have it because they may disappear again at some point. So, um, and then
And
one other thing I just want to like touch back on Mario and Luigi real quick is is this the first one that's actually coming to a home console?
yes.
Yeah, so it's been locked to handhelds previously. Um, I was in a Discord chat with some other people, and they hadn't. I guess they had not ever seen Mario. They thought it was a co-op game, and were actually
I've seen a
disappointed that
I've
it's
seen a few
not.
people mention that. And
Um,
it does seem like it would be a perfect. But as a fan of the games, I understand why people would think that. It'd be terrible as a co-op experience, and so much of it is timing based.
oh, I'm
Uh,
sure. I'm sure it would be horrible, but like I think people just like you know either they didn't follow handhelds. It's also been like what 10 years since
so
a
that's
new
what,
game is released, so
yeah.
um, people are probably coming at it fresh, I mean, like, oh, there's like a co-op Mario and Luigi game that looks neat, and to find out
And
it's a traditional Mario and Luigi game.
yes, and I would also say like even then, like like Mario and consoles have been very co-op recently between Wonder and
Yeah,
the new Super Mario series, 3D World. So it kind even like even crap, what was I gonna say? The which one am I thinking of? Oh, Odyssey's co-op in a weird way because
yeah, yeah.
somebody can be
The
The one
hat,
with the
right?
cap, yeah.
Yeah, and Galaxy, you could be the you could collect the little jelly, the little star bits.
Yeah.
It's not a great co-op experience.
Yeah, I mean, when you hate out there, it's not. Yeah.
Anything else from the direct that caught your guys' eyes?
I was gonna say not from the direct, but I think from today is the Dead Rising remake.
Oh yeah, yeah. Did they give? I saw the news. I did not. Did they give a trailer for that, or
No.
it's kind of announced that it's coming?
I saw pics of it, and when you look at like pics of the environment, they look great and everything. But like, in the replies, people were doing side by side shots of Frank, and he definitely looks better in the original 360 version than what they showed in the screen. Like it's like fucking crazy how bad he looks. Like it looks like he got fucking hit with a hammer a bunch of times in the fucking in the new pics. But I could be down for that maybe. Is it just a remaster or what's the deal?
It sounds like it's just a remaster.
Like if you like,
they're calling it a deluxe remaster. So
if you did a bunch of stuff with that, like I will always have like a place in my heart for that game. It was my first 360 game. It blew me away when I first played it. I'm sure it doesn't hold up now because none of the sequels were very. I don't know if you really like focused on doing performance and more like create like even more zombies and whatnot. Like you could do something with that, but maybe make the bosses a little better.
I dispute that the other games aren't good. I actually like 3 and 4, but they're different from what the first Dead Rising was, at least.
That's funny because I think I like 1 and 2 better than 3 or 4, but I like 4 better than 3. I put 3 at
completely
the bottom.
different types of games.
I think 3 is the worst. I'm sorry. Like it just I don't know.
It was like that was the first Dead Rising I finished actually. So
3?
Yeah.
I would between 3 and 4. What would you choose? You choose 3 or 4?
I think 4 goes on a little too long, so I think I like 3 a little bit more. But they're both about the same, honestly.
4 just brought back like what I like about the series, which is like the setting and that had like I think a Christmas theme to it.
Yes,
it was just like brown. You're just like in a brown city. Didn't like it as much. Did 3 even have Frank?
Yeah,
it did. Okay.
Yeah. He shows up. I don't think you don't play as Frank, but he shows up. And 4 you play as Frank. You go back to it goes back to the original town.
Yeah, it goes back to I did not.
You're back in the mall, but
yeah,
also outside.
By the time we had reached 4, I felt like that series had become antiquated. But it was 4 like I kind of just dug just because like we're going back to the mall setting, at least partially. Christmas setting, love that. Frank's back,
And they I mean, like said we will about either of those games, but the one thing they do really well is put a ton of zombies on screen at once, which 1 and 2 just couldn't do because of the systems they were on.
Well, the original when it came out,
that was the impressive thing for that time. Yeah,
that was the impressive thing about it. Then. That was the thing, but yeah,
you could do if you could do what you did with 3 and 4, the amount of zombies,
and put it into 1,
into the 1 would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's so hopefully, hopefully they put some effort into it.
Yeah. Anything else you guys caught news wise?
There was a debate on TV just now. I don't know if you guys heard anything about it.
I heard it didn't go well.
It's Yeah, did not, dude. Sorry, it's over. There ain't enough fucking bourbon in Tennessee.
Tony, Tony did say this a few weeks ago that they should have canceled the debates.
When Trump was convicted, he should have been like, "I'm not debating a felon. I'm not going to do that." Was the perfect excuse. It was right there. People were going to say he's ducking him or whatever, but it was better ducking him than
whatever this was.
You're probably right. I can't express. It was like you're going into it, and sorry to sidetrack all this, but like you're going into it, you're like, all Biden has to do is show up and like seem like competent and fine, and then people will be comfortable like moving to him, the undecided people. And in your head, you're like, all he has to do is not like glitch out on stage. And what does he do in like his first reply or first chance to speak? He glitched out, and that that's it. It's over. Like it doesn't even matter what happened after that because like that was it. He got a little better here and there. He had moments that would have been fine if he didn't fucking completely blow it. And I'm feeling bad about everything right now.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he literally glitched out. He forgot who he was talking about mid-sentence, and he was like, Medicare.
Oh, no.
It was
Wonderful. And
I can tell you guys haven't watched this because you guys would be as in despair as I am.
I watched
There was
half an
no.
hour and had to turn it off because I was just, oh no, this is going horribly for him.
There was no like upside to watching it. It was like, I'm not voting for Trump no matter what happens in this debate, and I don't want to feel like utter despair. So I'm just not going to look.
But I thought it would have been, it was like, it's everything they've painted him as, like this old feeble dude who doesn't know where he is. Because at some point he talked about like killing or taking out Medicaid, and I think Trump jumped on that. Using his train of thought.
Constantly, and I understand it's like an issue for him, but like the stumbling over the words, not being able to complete a sentence. He just, dude, like, what, television debates is a lot performance. And he did not, like, and that was like the entire thing this election hinged on is whether, like, Biden was competent enough. If people saw that, they'd be like, there would be people, like, a point or two, maybe it would change if they saw, oh, he's fine. And instead, he was the caricature that they've made him out to be.
Yeah.
It sucks, dude. It fucking sucks. And I've gone on record as saying I think he's been, like, a really great president. But, fuck, dude. Fuck, we are in trouble. No one's going to remember this by then, but, like, again, you needed this to give him the little boost.
It's also going to be the talking point for the next 2 months until the convention.
They're like, oh, let's get this. The Biden campaign wanted this so early.
Yeah.
What's wild about it is that the Republicans were, they were hedging their bets, right? On one side, it was,
he's going to be taking cocaine. Yeah.
And then it was, the other side was, he's going to be doped up on something. We need drug tests done. It's like,
it doesn't matter. Now they'll be like, yeah, it's exactly what we said. He's senile. He's too old to do this. And it's like they'll completely forget about that. They pumped this up for a week that he was going to be on drugs because they were worried about him doing well because they knew he was doing actual prep and stuff.
Yeah, and he had the facts on his side, but like especially the first answer I saw, it sounded like he was speed running a prepared statement. Where
it was like they pumped him with too much information, and he was trying to like. I gotta hit this. I gotta say this. I gotta say this. I gotta say this. Yeah.
Really, all he needed to do was like sit there and let Trump say his bullshit, like that. We kill babies after they're born, and
just be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Right, like that doesn't happen anywhere, but nobody stops him.
There were moments where he was good, like where he like. The substance of what he was saying was good and was like really tough on Trump and really going after him. Like there was one point he said like he's like, dude, there was one point he's like, you've been convicted of molesting a woman and you had sex with a porn star and paid to cover it up, while your wife was pregnant. And he goes, you have the fucking morals of an alley cat. And I'm like, that's pretty good. But like his delivery was worse than my delivery just now. You know what I mean? Like it's
like the words are all correct, but it doesn't matter because
he's just so stumbling over him, and he seems, like you said, so feeble, and you're just like, sorry. I'm sorry to like derail this podcast, but that was like the most depressing thing I saw.
No, it's perfectly fine. It's real time events happening.
It sucked.
Yeah.
We're fucked. It sucked. We're fucked.
Well, we got Zelda to look forward to, so
There's that. There's things.
I mean, got to take the little things that will make us happy in the meantime, as the American experiment falls apart.
Like I said, they still got time to.
Yes.
Hopefully, like I was not on that train, but after tonight, I'm like, maybe we should consider. Like, it's gonna suck going to a convention, but yeah, it might be time to look into other options.
The thing is, like, he would have to announce it like pretty much immediately, so that they could decide on a nominee.
It's like if you look at Twitter right now, like they're saying like that's what they're talking about on cable news is like, should the Dems replace him? That's fucked up.
I mean, to be fair, they've been talking about that pretty much since he won.
No, yeah, you're right. But like
now there's like this visual proof.
Yeah.
That
now it's like the alarm is going off. Like people are freaking out, dude. Like I cannot overstate. Like people are freaked, dude. Which sucks because again, I don't think like mentally there's anything wrong with him. He's just old. It's just he knows what's going on. He has trouble getting his sentences out. I do too sometimes, but like I'm not running for president.
Yes, the problem is it's more optics than because yes, he had information and facts on his side. Because I'm sure if you go through again from what I saw, Trump like people said this format helped Trump because he was limited to how much he can talk. But then even then he wasn't answering questions that was presented to him. He was going on tangents and his nonsense. But he said it with conviction and passion, and
he just has that swagger. Like he doesn't seem like he's the same age as Biden. And I know there's a couple years between them, but like he doesn't seem like that way. Biden seems like he's fucking 96 he's on death's door. Like honestly, like there's multiple times it looked like he saw a fucking ghost. Or was like, holy shit, dude. Is he seeing the Reaper coming for him? Like what is going on here?
Some of that I just chalked up to having to actually try to pay attention to Trump.
Yeah, it must be hard to stand there in a room and have to listen and not respond.
Well, like have to listen and like actually have to like, oh wait, I also have to formulate.
How far away were they too? Like I didn't see any of it, so like could he smell them?
Not close. It was not. No, it wasn't. At least 15 feet apart.
So like the stench wasn't getting to him.
No, if anything, fuck, dude. I thought Biden was maybe sick. Like he was coughing. I was like, is Biden trying to give him COVID this time?
I think Biden might have been sick, but again,
dude, especially at the beginning, his voice. Get the guy some tea and some honey and shit. What are you doing? Come on, give me a pop of cocaine. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, ironically, this should have been when they doped him up on actual drugs.
Dude, yes. You should have called his fucking son, bro. Anyways, sorry.
No.
What were we talking about? The end of the world?
Yes. The world is ending. The American experiment is falling apart.
Over.
And
video how to speak Chinese. Just start now. It's a hard language for Americans.
That's true.
Right now.
I will not be able to. I just won't be able to speak to our new overlords. I'm too old. I'm not learning Chinese at this point. All right.
You guys talk about that Twitch.
Wait, Dr. Disrespect yesterday.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, just I never had heard of him before, and fucking looks
Oh.
like a total goofball. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's
I don't know anything.
He's a shitbag.
Yeah, I have no context for him. I heard about like what he did, and it's funny that he basically like admitted it. I guess credit to that, you admitted it.
I don't know if I mean,
Well, I admitted it. Like he's denied it numerous times, and like finally admitted it. I think is the.
Okay.
I think there's proof that it's probably going to come out, and it's not going to look good for him. So somebody probably you should just stick to it. Like admit you did it. Go on vacation, as Earl said, and
well,
I think he's
gonna
like, yeah, I'm gonna go on vacation. I'll be back, bro.
Maybe not this time, buddy.
Had you guys heard of this guy before, or was this complete? Dude, all of a sudden I saw this guy every day on my Twitter. I'm like, I have never ever heard of this guy.
We talked about it. Like I had heard of him because he won like the trending game or whatever that like influencer award Jeff had back in the days of the Game Awards. He had won that, and it was very much like the Madden curse, where people would win it and then just turn out to be the absolute worst types of people. And because I mean, even before this, I think he had won it, and like the next year, and people are trying to put two and two together. We're not gonna speculate and do, but people were speculating that because he was going through he went through a divorce I think he won it in 2017, and he went through a divorce in that same year. So yeah, it's never been a great award.
And Jeff, you might remember this story about the Twitch streamer that was filming in a bathroom.
No.
Okay, so that was this guy too, but you don't
filming in a bathroom, like a public
bathroom? Yeah, like a public bathroom.
This was one of those. He's transphobic.
Oh God, he's like right wing.
Yeah. Because yes, he's one of those. Because the other reason I've heard of him is, God, I know. Yeah, because again, I mean, this is a part of the game industry I don't know anything about too much, but I guess Call of Duty has been doing like they do. I don't know what you call them, like packs for like influencers and stuff like that. And one of the people in it was some dude named Nick Merckx. And he just got removed last year because he said transphobic stuff. And like the whole protect, we got to protect kids. And then he came to his defense.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so that's the only like times I've heard of him before.
Yeah, when he does something shitty. That's
pretty again.
I will say he got the text while he was like streaming. And it was so funny how the Elden Ring music played. Like this like sad, like really like dark music starts playing right as he's reading the text. That's so good.
And that was when he found out that he had
lost got fired,
he lost the sponsorship, or he had gotten removed.
When he got removed. And it's so funny because I guess to Jeff's point, he is very much just like, like we're still gonna do this, and like halfway through the stream you can literally see him reading it, and like what you can see through his sunglasses and everything just kind of drain out of his face.
It's like there goes the light.
Yeah, it was, and then you just have that music in the background, which is like it was weird because it didn't kick in until he started reading the text, and it just fits so perfectly, dude. You gotta go back and watch it. It's so fucking good.
All right, so we've now caught Jeff up on everything. What have you guys been playing this week?
Don't all start at once, I guess.
Right. We're so excited.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh no, I've been playing a great game in honor of Jeff. I've been playing a strategy game because I know he loves strategy.
In honor of me.
Jeff loves strategy games, so.
But classified France 44. So I got a new gaming laptop.
Did he just say classified France 44?
Yes.
That's what the
That's what
game
he
is
Dude,
called.
said.
it's
Yeah.
always the most made up fucking name ever. That's like the name of a video game in a movie where they're like, Tony's playing too much of classified France 44. Made up.
It's a real game though.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Title's a bit much. But this is the game I've been trying my new laptop out on. It's not exactly a graphic powerhouse type game, but whatever. If you played XCOM, it's like XCOM but in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost the same idea. You're in France. You have this small team of people that you're taking around in missions behind German lines as the clock ticks down to the invasion in Normandy. I haven't played enough to figure out what happens when the clock actually hits 0 and the invasion takes place. But so far, it's playing very XCOM-y missions. You bring a team of 4 people to the mission. There's like 3 different guys. There's one that start in open combat. There's like ambush missions where you can sneak around and they'll like if someone gets spotted, then they'll switch to open combat. But it'll let you sneak around until you've killed like 4 people, and then it'll like switch to open combat, but give you like a free ambush attack on everybody. And then there's ones where you can just sneak the whole time and just try to stab all the Germans to death. It plays so much like XCOM, but like you've switched to like a World War II type game. So it's all World War II weapons, and there's like people with French accents and Americans who have dropped behind the lines, and like they try to give like depth to these characters. The story is kind of cliche, so there's not a ton there. The missions are mostly fun. I don't know. It's very much an XCOM ripoff.
Does your squad like gain experience?
So no, they level up and you get new abilities. The game really focuses a lot on there's 2 things that you're managing when your people are in the field. They have action points which they can use to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is morale. And the morale is the one part of the game that's actually innovative. As units get shot at, their morale goes down. And when the morale gets down to a certain point, the unit can become suppressed, and so they lose half of their action points. If the morale goes all the way down, the unit gets broken, which means they're in like a panic state and they can't do anything.
Okay.
And you can have units interact with each other. Like maybe you have a unit that's a leader, and the leader can rally other people and like boost up their morale. So you can have a unit that gets broken during the enemy turn, but then your leader acts and he like rallies, and like now that unit that was broken before can do something. But it's kind of cool at points where you can like use the morale of the enemy troops against them. Like you can maybe you're not in a position where you can like kill this unit, but you could just like start shooting at them and reduce their morale down so they can't move or do anything, and then move another unit closer or like around their flank to shoot them from behind. Which is kind of a cool mechanic. It's fine. Like the game is aggressively fine.
Okay. There's a lot of those types of games on PC. So
it's super, super common to have games in that genre right now. I don't know, for some reason this one caught my eye. It's aggressively fine.
All right. You play anything else?
Not really.
You jumped right to the most graphically intensive game.
I mean, I have another beautifully named game for Jeff to play in a little bit, but there's still it's called Ultimate General American Revolution. So.
What is with this genre, dude?
I don't know.
Yeah, they don't name them super great, Jeff.
It maybe because it's the genre, but it sounds like for old men that watch the History Channel. Like
How dare you? How dare you?
What is this general game that you'll be playing, Tony?
It's much closer to like a Total War type game,
Okay.
but set in the American Revolution.
All right. I mean,
but it's also
interesting.
deep in early access. So like the game, by deep in early access, it's got a long way to go.
Yeah, so it's early in early access.
Early in early access. It came out like 2 weeks ago, so it's got some time in the oven. I bought it. It's installed to my laptop, but I don't know when I will actually play it.
Yeah, that might be one that like you jump in, give it a look, and then back out till it comes out fully.
Right.
Earl, you play anything this week?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been on this show in like a month. So I played more Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, which remains a really fun game.
Yeah.
So I won't go into it too much. We didn't touch on it too much during the Nintendo Direct because it's old news. But they had a suite of GBA and N64 games that came out on NSO expansion pack. So I never played the original Four Swords on the GBA NSO. I did not realize. I mean, I guess it's an add-on to another game. It's an add-on to Link to the Past re-release.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like under 2 hours. But I played that yesterday, and that was interesting. It's yeah, I mean, I guess it's a very casual handheld game with the intention of you playing it in small bursts. But yeah, it was fine. I'm kind of curious now. I've played a little bit of Four Swords Adventure, but not too much. So I kind of want to go back and actually try that out in full now, just to see. So I'm hoping that becomes a thing soon
Okay.
that we get to do.
Yep.
What else was there? I realized this was a thing recently. There is a Space Jam beat 'em up on the Xbox that was free. It was a tie-in to the LeBron James movie.
Yes.
Yes. That's honestly I actually found it really fun for a free beat 'em up. It's not janky. It controls well. I like that you have like the Looney Tune character. I mean, you get to pick from the Looney Tune characters in your LeBron James, and a lot of the combos deal with how you use your basketball. But I do like that it's something different, and I like the fact that wow, words. I like the fact that again that it's free and it looks nice. So I was happy with that.
Yeah, it has like a Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis look to it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge
nice.
fan of like this resurgence of beat 'em ups. And again, never even heard of it. Somebody had mentioned on Twitter like they had released the Space Jam beat 'em up for free. I'm like, it's $3.99, my favorite price. I'll give it a whirl. And yeah, it's it's not the longest game in the world, but it's a ton of fun. So I'll take that. And then I think that I'm sure there's others that I'm missing out on. I think you played this too, Chris. Star Wars Hunters?
Yes. Oh, I don't know why I didn't write that down on my list, but yes, I did play that this week.
Yeah, I am honestly surprised at how much it is baby's first Overwatch, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I really enjoy how kind of simple it is. I enjoy that it has archetypes of Star Wars without being like, this is Chewbacca, this is like a specific stormtrooper, this is Luke and Leia or something like that. It's like, no, you have like Jedi, you have stormtroopers, you have Wookiees.
Yeah, there's he's like the third or fourth one you unlock.
Yeah, not my favorite because he's a melee-based character. So far, my go-to has been a stormtrooper. You get a Gatling gun.
Sentinel is the best character in the game because he has like 200 health, and then he can add a shield to like boost
that knocks out some damage. Yeah. And then his special attack is I'm going to call to my buddy.
Calls 2 more stormtroopers down. It's great. Yes, I play as him a lot. Early on, I was able to like use that character all the time, but then as you advance in rank, like you stop playing against bots, and people
Okay.
people have figured out that like Sentinel is the coolest character to play as, at least in the early unlocks that you have. And so like they lock the character, so there's not you can't have 4 Sentinels on a team.
Some people sort of,
Yeah, so if somebody gets there first, like you have to play as another character.
I think the next one. I think I just unlocked. No, I just unlocked the Wookiee, and I think the next one might be the what am I trying to say? The Hylia, because I don't think because the first one
Yes.
you unlock is like a Jedi.
Yeah, so you after the Wookiee you unlock Zaina. It's like these are not Star Wars characters. There's Earl said just archetypes. And she's a rebel agent or something, but she's also a healer. So she's useful, especially once you start playing some of the more not deathmatchy modes
Yeah,
like zone control and stuff, because then
that
she can
was
throw down a heal. So it's like cool.
that was the other thing. Like, to your point about like getting out of the tutorial. The tutorial is all get to 20 kills. I'm like, oh, okay. And then eventually they're like, oh yeah, there's also like like control these 3 points. And yeah, so I've gotten that. Is there other modes? Those are the 2
Yeah,
I've played so far.
there's 4 modes. I've unlocked 3 of them. The third mode is very similar to like the zone control. I think it's more like a King of the Hill where the zone moves.
Oh, okay.
So like you'll
So I mean, it's not again. I don't mean this. It's nothing we haven't seen before.
but it
And
controls well. Like
okay,
plays
it
well.
plays
It's
well.
fun,
It
and their
plays
matches
well.
are quick.
Yes, yes. That's what I also because I've mostly been playing it before work because like matches are like 5-10 minutes if that.
Yep,
So
I
I
think
can
they all
get
have a
in.
5-minute time limit, so you're done really
Yeah,
quickly.
I could get. I mean, part of it I assume because it is. I don't know what you're playing. I assume you're playing on the Switch like I am.
But
It
on
is
Switch,
a mobile game, so like I assume that's part of the like you can do Overwatch, and Overwatch can go 10-15 minutes, and
yep.
then sometimes you kind of know that you're not winning. So, but yeah, and I would also say I think they're really generous with the battle pass. Like you unlock a decent number of stuff. It seems like you get XP for a lot of random stuff. I don't know if that slows down as you play more of it,
You seem to
but
get the same amount of experience every match, I guess. Like,
yeah,
and so there's the battle pass, and then there is like there's a lot going on in their menus. Like, there's so many unlocks to do, but there's the battle pass, and then there's the hero pass, which is constant because you're consistently earning like hero XP,
yeah,
and that will unlock new characters up. Like, I assume they're going to introduce more and more as time goes on, and each character then has their own experience, so like they have different unlocks separately from the battle pass. So there's always shit unlocking in the game.
yes. I think sometimes it's a bit much because like you're going through like 4 menus after you finish a match,
Yeah.
but I also don't think that's necessarily um I guess different than a lot of games nowadays. It's like the victory screen, your unlock screen, your stat screen. The only thing I do wish, because I've been doing really well, even in the non-bot ones, no like creative games. Uh, it's like there was one time I got like 4 or 5 people, or I guess it's 4v4. I got like 5 kills in a row on my team. There's one match I had like 16 kills. It was like one of the control spots. I'm like, I got into a because a lot of people. It's like the old Halo thing where a lot of people just rush the point sometimes. I'm like, I'm
Yep.
just gonna stand slightly above it, and as you come in, just gonna mow you folks down.
Yeah, it's like, why are you running to the point where the stormtrooper has a chain gun laser with a shield in front of it? Why are you keep running towards him? Go to the other point. Like, the other point is open. Go take that one first.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know, but again, ton of fun, free to play.
Yeah.
Recommend.
All right. Jeff, before we touch on what you've been playing, I've got a few here. I played a little bit of a game called Questmaster, which you guys probably never heard of. It's an early access on Steam.
Another made-up game that is in a TV show as a fake game.
It does sound that absolutely is like he's playing Questmaster.
He's playing too much Questmaster. He's in his bedroom playing Questmaster and watching porn.
Questmaster is basically Legend of Zelda Maker. So it doesn't have the Zelda license, but that's exactly what it is. It's like they took Mario Maker but made it Zelda. So I have not been able to create any good dungeons myself, but there are over already. I think the game's only been out for like a week and a half. There's over 1,000 dungeons.
Have you played any good created ones?
Yeah, there's some decent ones in there, and there's some intricate. Like people have already like recreated the entirety of Zelda.
Yeah,
like the first Zelda, it's already there. So like you could do some pretty intricate stuff. It's in early access, so like I don't know how much. Like, kind of similar to what we were just talking about with the game Tony's going to play. I may just like play a little bit more of it and be like, "Yep, that's really neat." But I'm going to wait till they put all the assets and stuff in before I can like really jump in and see everything that it can do. It's a really neat game. It's a really cool concept. But there's just not a lot of guidance right now for like a new player coming in. It's like I don't know if I want to spend like all that time figuring out how to manage this when they should have some proper tutorials in place for like newcomers coming into it. There are people that are doing some really cool shit though in it, and it's neat. Another game I picked up, you guys remember Hexen and Heretic from like the 90s?
Yeah.
Like Doom clones, but like magic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard of Hexen. Yeah.
So there's a game that just came out. It just came out on Xbox. Somebody sent me. It was like, "Hey, would you like a review code for this?" And I was like, "I don't know." And I looked at it. I was like, "It looks a lot like Heretic and Hexen. I'm gonna give it a shot." And it's called Graven. It's been out on Steam for a while. It has miserable reviews there. But it's like a modern redoing of that, except the visuals look like a PS2 game instead of something that came out 2 years ago. It's neat. Like you have spells, you're fighting off zombies and skeletons and stuff, and it has this big sprawling world that you can kind of explore where you're going into dungeons and fighting people off with your staff and doing magic and stuff. Not great, but also I don't know what the complaints are on the Steam version of it when it came out, but yeah, the Xbox version is fine. And I'll continue on with that, so I'll probably touch base on that one again in the near future. Couple more here real quick, touching in on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I've now been playing for 3 months. I'm 30 hours into this game, and it's an up and down ride where I end up taking like weeks off at a time with it. When it's good, it's really good, and when it's fun, it's really fun. And then there are parts that are just like, just let me move on. Like, why is this so goofy? It doesn't make sense with what we're doing here. There's like some tonal whiplash going on in that game that I'm not a super fan of. And the counter on the PlayStation says I'm 60% done.
Oh.
So it's like we're looking at like probably 50 hours to finish this game. Like, I just want to finish, man. Just let me finish the game.
Never.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe we're nearing the end. No, they just introduced an entire new region that has another 30 things that you have to do in it. It's like, and finally, for me, I've been playing more Dragon's Dogma 2 more seriously. 2 months after that came out, and both you, Jeff, and Tony have stopped playing it. I did send your pawns away and bring them back. So Jeff's pawn came back at level 44, and Tony's pawn came back at level 30, and they've just kind of been they're strong.
Someone had more dedication.
You guys are I think I'm nearing the end of Act 1, and you both at least. Jeff, did you get to the final area, the volcano?
I don't know. I feel like I got very far in that game, but I don't know. For all I know, the game's way bigger than I thought.
So so if you went through the gate, that's the second area, right?
Yep.
And I haven't got there yet. I'm like right at that edge. Got like a few, done most of the quests for Captain Brant, and now there's like I have to go back in and get into the magistrate's office, and then I have to go to some masquerade ball or something.
Yep, you're pretty close.
Yeah,
those both go way faster than you would expect.
Yes, I think I'm like right there at the edge of Act 1 being done, and I'm going to go to Batal, which is the second area. And from what I could tell, like the second area does not have nearly as many quests as the first area did. So hopefully I'll get through to the volcano. It's neat. My pawn can now speak Elvish. There's an entire town to the north if you travel up that way that is kind of like Rivendell. And if you go there and your pawn cannot speak Elvish, everything, like all the elves speak in Elvish, all the dialogue on screen, if you have that enabled, it is in Elvish.
It's really like progress in that town, whatever.
Yeah, you can't do anything. Fortunately I had and Tony, I think you did this for one of your pawns. You gave him a specialization.
Yeah.
So there's a specialization that teaches your pawn Elvish. So I knew how to get that for them. So I was able to get to the town. I just had to figure out like, oh, this is the inn, and you could tell because it has like a bed in the icon for the inn is like the bed, and like when you're talking to them, it's like I just hope that the menus are the same as they are in the regular inn, and they are. So you just have to stay there 3 days and give a flower to the maid, the person who runs the inn, the innkeeper. If you give a flower to her 3 days in a row, she'll give you the specialization to learn Elvish. And that's neat, like, because then all of a sudden, like, they still speak in Elvish, but you can now read all the dialogue. It pops up on your screen in English, which is pretty cool. There's some cool stuff in that game. It's also, why am I fighting goblins and wolves and goblins and wolves? And more goblins and wolves and harpies. Lots of harpies.
Yeah. It gets very, very repetitious. And then you move to the new area and you get different kinds of goblins and wolves and harpies.
Like occasionally, like you'll get like the big boss. Like they're
which
not
is
bosses.
What makes it interesting. But like an ogre or like a
Cyclops or a Minotaur. Sometimes a Griffin will show up, but like they're. Even those, though, like, they just keep popping up. Like, I've fought about 10 Cyclops at this point. How many fucking Cyclops are there in this world? And why do they keep invading the main town? That's insane. Like, I've had a
when
Cyclops...
you're just walking down the street in the town, yeah.
There's a... Like, oh, I see some people running, and I look over, and right in, like, where the ox cart is there's just a Cyclops rampaging. And then another time I came back and there's a Minotaur in like where the stalls are, like for the vendors. What the hell is going on here? Who let these things in? The story kind of sucks though. Not really digging that. But there is some neat stuff. I may have to let Tony's pawn go soon because I am nearing level 30.
Oh no.
But Amelia, is that her name?
Yep.
She's been very valuable. She's great because I guess your specialization is that she'll just start making potions and stuff.
Yeah, she just combines things that are starting to like go bad.
Yeah, so all of a sudden I just have like 12 health potions in my inventory because she just keeps making shit.
Yeah.
But that's neat because I don't think to make the stuff, but she's just like, I made you these. Cool. And Jeff's pawn he's just a beast out there. He's always hopping on top of shit and being almost 20 levels higher than me for most of the game.
I told you, you're welcome, but like if you get further in the game, eventually that's gonna.
So you are pretty close, like level wise, to where they say you could finish the game. So your guy might make it pretty far in with me.
All I know is I had someone on my friends list. I don't know who actually. I don't remember who. I don't think I knew who the person was, but luckily I had this guy on my friends list. Maybe from playing Elden Ring, I don't know, but like he was like super high level. Like he was like level 60 or something crazy, dude. So I had that helping me all along through the game.
It's the coolest thing about the game is like that
for
you
sure.
can bring your friends' pawns in and they can improve and you can send them away. They come back stronger. It's neat. It's a neat game. I don't know if it deserves the love that people gave it when it came out, but
I get people loving it, but it's just not. When I compare it to its contemporaries, and just I don't know, it's cool. Like it's a neat game, but like the main hook of it is kind of that,
yeah,
and the kind of like chaos that can happen in fights.
Absolutely, yeah.
And at least in 2, especially like the like adventuring aspect of it, where you're just like, I guess I'm way out here, I'm fucked. Like you know what I mean? Like I gotta figure out a way to get there. Like no fast travel, all that.
Yeah, and the map is cut like until you actually traverse it, the map is useless because has not unlocked. It has not shown you anything. It's not like, oh, I can kind of like go down this path. You're just guessing when you're first going to locations. But that is neat. That's kind of cool. I wish there was a little more enemy variety. Like would make the game 100 times better if I wasn't just still fighting goblins and wolves and harpies and shit. So all right, Jeff, tell us about the Erdtree.
Oh yeah, I've been playing that new game DLC.
No.
How much have you played so far?
I'd say I'm actually closing in on the end of it.
Oh, okay.
So I've played a lot of it. Yeah, I feel like I've seen a lot of it. The DLC is very hard.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers. News alert. Hard.
Wait, Elden Ring is hard. Hard.
Yeah. But it's also like, I think I said going into the DLC, like my worry is they're going to do what they do with like all their DLCs and just make it like amazingly hard. And my hope was that they would not do that because it was such a popular mainstream game and you can't sell some $40 add-on that is just going to like spank you for fucking 30 hours. But they did that. They did exactly what I figured. That is what it is. Like the exploration. Like first off, this DLC is for end game characters. So like you have played through the game, you are at least a level 120, 130, whatever. You should not be fucking with it until you're at that point. Like simple as that. First off, you can't even reach the DLC unless you reach like a hidden optional area. And but the funny thing is, on top of that, you go into this and it's kind of meaningless. Like you could be a level 130, you could be level 107, like 730, like whatever the max is. It doesn't matter because like the game kind of like the DLC kind of like throws that aside. It's like, yeah, you still have like all those tools and whatever, but there's a separate leveling system in the DLC. Like it's like, and it's not the same as leveling outside of DLC. It's not like you kill a bunch of things, you get souls or runes or whatever, and you can spend them to level up. Like I want to level up my vigor, I want to level up my stamina. That's not what it is. There are these items that are scattered throughout the DLC that you pick up, and when you go to a bonfire or a site of grace in Elden Ring, you could use those. Like if you have, early on, if you have one of these items, you could level up your blessing, they call it, one time. And what that does, each time you do that, it levels up both your attack and your damage negation. So there is like, it's just completely like kind of levels the playing field, and I get what they're doing, and it's a neat idea. It's like, yeah, no matter what you come in with, this is going to be hard, but we're going to let you level up inside this game. And by the end of leveling up, the level cap in the DLC is 20. You will have doubled the amount of damage you do against enemies, and you will have halved the damage that you receive. Pretty neat idea.
Does that travel back to...
No.
Okay.
It's separate.
Only in the Erdtree part.
It doesn't matter, because anyone who's doing this, if they went back to anything in the main game, they just blast fucking through it anyways. Like they're
stomping it already.
Yeah. So that I do get, like, it's a hard proposition to do like a DLC to this kind of game, because it's like you have players coming in, like, again, level 700, players coming in at level 100, players trying to fucking walk in at level 40, who knows? Like, and that's a neat idea, and it's a neat solution to it. And I like that. And I like that your leveling up is tied to exploration. Like, that's a good idea. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that, like, I'll save the positives for later. Despite all that, no matter what, and I'm at the point now where I'm not at the point. Like, everyone's like, there's people today who have like discovered ways that you can kill a boss in like one hit, like any boss in the game in one hit, like if you have the right build. And I actually have started to build that build, and yes, it works. And they'll probably nerf it a week from now.
I watched some dude today just like, I think you sent me the video, right? Of the guy that just walks in the room and he like casts a spell and the boss just dies. Like all of his health just drains. It was nuts.
So like, and that's part of what Elden Ring is like, actually this DLC, I'll credit the DLC with this. It has forced me to consider more. Like, if I go to a boss and I fail, I go, okay, well, maybe if I use a different weapon, and maybe if I wear different talismans, like, it forces you to consider your whole build in a way that I think the main game did too, but nowhere to this extent. Because in the main game, I would just get help. And here, you could get help, but, like, nobody's there yet. Everyone, like, even the helpers, like, I'll help you. Could you help me with the boss after I help you? It's just like, that's where everyone's at right now.
Right.
Like, there's a few guys out there who obviously are really good. And I should say girls as well. More girls help me get through bosses than guys. But Yeah, all that said, I think that the bosses kind of suck, man. Like I'm not a fan of them. Like they're just they go on like endless attack combos where you're like dodge, and your fucking green bar is going down and it's empty, and you're like, I can't dodge anymore, and then they just hit you and fucking like kill you. You're like, all right, dude, like you're not giving me any sort of opening, you're not giving me any sort of breather. Like it's ridiculous. Like there are bosses where like you walk through the fog gate to the boss, and they're like on a fucking bull riding right towards you, and you don't even have time to like summon your fucking like spirit axe, like the little like thing that helps you. Like you get
like your jellyfish or whatever.
Yeah. Most late game players, it's their mimic, like a copy of themselves, right? And you're not even through like ringing your bell to summon them, and they're fucking like plowing through you, pinning you against the fog gate and killing you. You're just like, what is this? Like that's not fun. Like you went too far. Like so I will give From Software all the credit in the world for the things that did good in this, but I'm sorry, like I just don't think the bosses are that good. Like I think they suck. I think that like they take like the worst of what their boss design is and like cranked it up to fucking 1,000,000. It just sucks. Like the bosses absolutely suck. The players are finding ways to work around it and break it. At least for now, I think they'll patch it to make this broken build that I found not so good anymore. All that said, though, also some of the best fucking levels I've ever played. Like it's just such a weird feeling playing this, where I'm just like so mad at what they did with the bosses, but then also like some of the dungeons are some of my favorite in the whole series. Like one of my favorite in the base game is Stormvale Castle, which is the first level you get to. That's like right where you're at, Chris. Like right, you're about to head into it.
Right.
I love that castle. It's twisty, turny. There's like lots of cool like secret paths you can find. It's just neat. And there's a level in the DLC called Shadowkeep that is like that, but it's like 10-story castle. Like it's like 10 levels stacked on top of each other. It's so nuts, dude. And it's to the point where like you could actually approach that level from different regions in the game and enter from a different side of the castle and be able to explore parts of that castle that you can't explore from the other entrance. It's so neat, dude. It's so awesome. So it's like I'm very happy to be playing this, but again, this is only for the people that are diehard Elden Ring fans. Like the fucking bosses, honestly, dude, they kind of fucking suck. And I'm like, part of me is like reluctant to say that because like I remember what it was like going into Elden Ring that first weekend. First, the servers were down, so you couldn't get help. And nobody knew how to do anything. Nobody knew where anything was, where you're supposed to go. Like nobody knew you're supposed to go to the southern island first to level up and this and that. And everyone was going straight to this main first boss and dying over and over and over. I think I put 30 hours into the Elden Ring the first time before I beat that first boss. Like now, I can start a new character from scratch and I'll probably beat the game in 30 hours, right? So there's part of me that's reluctant to like be so critical of what they've done here because it might just be that again, where it's like, hey man, when you level everything up and you figure everything out, all of this is going to seem pretty easy, and you'll get to the point where you could help other people out. But
right.
I don't like there. Part of that is true in a way, but like I'm almost at the level max in the DLC, and I still think the bosses are too hard. At the end of the day, I just think I'm sorry. I think the bosses suck. There's just these bosses that do like these endless fucking combos, and they keep coming at you, and you get no breather, no time to like drink a potion to refill your health or do anything. Like they just fucking are relentless, and it sucks. Fortunately, though, it's a community. There's people better than me that will help me get through it, and I am close to the end of it. again, I don't love it as much as the base game. Put it like that, and I'm happy to have more Elden Ring. And there's parts of this that I think are really brilliant. But boy, would I never recommend this to any of you guys. So you probably won't hear me like playing through this like 10 times in a row like I did the base game. I think at the end of the day, the base game is the masterpiece, and I kind of didn't need any DLC. I'm happy to have this. This is a neat add-on years later, but boy, this is for people that are heavily invested.
Well, they have to be. You said they have to be what, level 100 to even access it?
Yeah. Well, you could access it probably pretty early on, but you would want to be someone who has at least played the initial game up to the end, and and if you play the initial game up to the end, you're probably around 120, 130. Yeah, you go in without it. It's gonna be hard no matter what. It doesn't matter. You could go in max level. You're gonna struggle, but you just it doesn't matter because like the nature of the bosses, like the way they fight, is just so dirty, and it's just I hate it, dude. Like I'm gonna be dirty against them. I'm gonna come up with some tricks.
Well, I hope you end up enjoying it ultimately. But
I am enjoying it. It ultimately. I just like my honest opinion is I just think that the bosses kind of suck compared to the main game. I think the main game. I think the main game only reaches that with the bosses in like the last three bosses out of like 100 bosses. And this like starts from that. This is like, no, remember those last 3 bosses? That's how this is going to be at the easiest. Which I'm sure there's people that like really enjoy that, but I'm sure you guys have seen around like a lot of community is just like, yeah, it's too hard. I think the Steam reviews are like 60% or something like that. Like people are like not digging how far they went with it.
yeah, it doesn't seem like everyone loves it quite as much as they did Elden Ring. So,
but I'm fully open to the idea that could change as we get acclimated and get leveled up and blah blah blah. They've also started to do patches to adjust the difficulty. So, and they said there's more on the way in terms of that. So, maybe they realized they overstepped a little bit.
maybe. All right. Well, I'd be interested to see how you ultimately end up with it after you finish it. But good news is the rest of the year is filled out with games. So there are games coming.
Anyone soon?
I mean,
don't.
there are 2 games this week.
There was.
The new Monkey Ball and
Oh yeah.
What was the other one?
Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, that's not new. The Monkey Ball one though, like I honestly did not know, or I forgot that was coming out, and then I saw some reviews on Twitter yesterday, and it was like, "Hey, Monkey Ball is back." I was like, "No fucking way, dude!" I almost bought it last night.
Oh, and I think Beyond Good and Evil's 20th Anniversary Edition's out as well.
Yes, that's right. Very soon.
It was out this week, I thought.
Yeah, I think it is
already?
out now. Yeah.
And
What's
then
the price on that?
I think it was. Is it $10 or $20? I thought it was a opening week discount.
If it's $10, you got me. I'm good. I'll be in.
It's the price is loading at $20.
20. Mm-hmm.
Next week,
I just saw, they already had a remaster that's available on Xbox that you can play right now. It already looked fine.
But this one has additional content for.
That's true.
To tie into 2, which is going to be out any second now. Any second.
Almost here.
You know what? I might just get that. But I think first I might go with Monkey Ball. Like, The thing with Monkey Ball though is it's really fun. Like you play the first 10 levels, you're like, this is great, and then you get into like the medium stages, and you're like, oh fuck, this is impossible. Like, yeah, there's maybe 130 stages, or whatever. You're getting through 30 of them, and that's the furthest you're ever gonna get. They're fucking hard, dude.
Because it's like I think you can have one or the other. You can have like momentum or physics, but I think both of them. It's because like later on, and I think the sequels added the jump button, but later on, it's like okay, you have to be going fast enough, but you also need to like have enough momentum and angle yourself. You jump off this ramp, you end on this tiny platform, stop and continue rolling, but not stop too much, or you're gonna fall backwards. I'm like, okay, that's too much of me right now.
Your best bet is to like just fly off the stage and hope
yes,
you
and
go
that
through
is
the ribbon. Like, oh, somehow I'll land through the goal. Like, just
that has
flying
happened.
through the air. It
Or
happens. It does
what has
happen.
happened to me sometimes the other way. It's like I go too far. You go over the ribbon and you fall off the
Mhm.
back end. But I'm like, no, I'm
You like
right
circle
there.
around it, like, and then
Yeah,
fall off. Like, oh fuck. But I'm just happy to hear that it sounds like this new one was quality. I guess you could do the Sonic Spin Dash, which is really cool. That's a
yes,
good
and
idea.
it's like the but not DLC, but like there's like content. I think Sonic and Friends are on there, and then some folks from Jet Set Radio, and I want to say somebody from Crazy Taxi.
I want to say though that you could do that Spin Dash with like whatever.
Well,
I don't
oh
think
no,
it's,
with
yeah.
whatever. But I think like, and then I think the guy from Yakuza's in here as well. It's a random assortment of guest characters.
I think I gotta buy this, man. I gotta support him, but like I just know if I waited like a month, it'll be at
It'd be
least some sort of
cheaper.
sale. Yeah,
And that's what Banana Rumble.
Yeah.
yeah. I
All
think
right.
they're all like named the same. Like recently, it's like just say Super Monkey Ball. What is it? 3, 4? Just say
What?
that.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it. It's banana. Wait, banana rumble, banana
Banana Blitz,
mania.
Banana Rumble, Banana
Yeah.
Grandma.
It's like they
Banana.
did not. It's like they can't think of anything other than banana for a monkey.
Just say Part 4 or Part 3, whatever. Like I was there Super Monkey Ball 3? I don't remember.
There was a 2, and then
I
it
thought it was-
started going off the
Yeah.
rails.
Yeah, so just say Super Monkey Ball 3. That's
But
what they
that
should have done.
I mean not 3 because there are sequels.
No, but yeah, but you just those are whatever.
You want a Mario Kart 8 it, huh? Well, I guess technically Mario Kart 7 it. Where it was a bunch of things, and then it's like, you know what? This is the 7th entry. We're just gonna start numbering.
Whatever, yeah.
Well,
It's Monkey Ball fucking 6. But I don't care. Just get it back to numbers. Because these fucking names suck. I can't tell which one I'm buying.
I can't tell which ones are
Ultimate
the main
General
one.
Monkey Ball.
You're buying banana. Well, yeah, but I get banana rumble.
Classified.
I
Monkey
am-
Ball 44.
Monkey Ball 44. All right. Well, that's it for this week. Steam sale is on for the summer. So, you can go buy a bunch of games on Steam if you want. And you'll probably never play them because that's what people do with Steam sale. They just buy games and leave them in their library. But that is ongoing. So, I don't know what's going on next week because 4th of July is
On Thursday.
we would record. I don't know. We may figure something out, or we may take the week off in celebration of the holiday. But we will be back. If not next week, the week after. Jeff, say goodnight.
Good night.